Hi everyone! The legendary dramatic and power-hungry music of Pink Floyd, which changed the direction of rock history, is probably well known to fans. We'll now examine a subject that has been kept secret for a long time. Finally, Nick Mason, the drummer for Pink Floyd, has opened up about his issues with Roger Waters. His disclosures present a completely different image of the man who is sometimes given credit for writing some of the band's most well-known songs. Stay till the very end, because you won't believe how awful and disgusting the reality is. Let's start by revisiting Pink Floyd's formative years. When the band was first formed in the mid-1960s, it was a true collaboration. The passionate guitar playing of David Gilmour, the powerful drumming of Nick Mason, the evocative keyboards of Richard Wright, and the ingenuity of Syd Barrett all emphasized each member's unique approach. But the focus soon shifted to Roger Waters. He became the main lyricist and inspiration for timeless songs such as Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall. His poetry was profound, his ambition unbridled, and his ideals revolutionary. But according to Nick Mason, that ambition came at a cost. Mason describes Roger Waters as a man with two sides. On the one hand, he was a genius. His ability to blend music with deep, poignant issues was unmatched. In addition to having attractive melodies, Pink Floyd's songs examined life, loneliness, and the human condition. However, Waters' strong and domineering personality made working with him more difficult. From the band's inception, Mason detailed the gradual development of Roger Waters and everyone else. When the band started recording The Wall in 1979, their relationship issues were already apparent. Roger dictated the tale, the music, and even the performers on stage, in addition to writing the lyrics. According to Nick Mason, the recording sessions felt more like disputes than productive teamwork. Being a stickler for perfection, Waters would dismiss any concepts that didn't align with his beliefs. Mason found this to be quite frustrating. Pink Floyd remained a band and a cooperative venture, despite Roger's requests being accepted. One of the most shocking was Mason's revelation of how Waters' behavior affected their relationship with David Gilmour. Gilmour, known for his mellow guitar playing and smooth vocals, would not have been a part of Pink Floyd. However, Waters often ignored his contributions. In one interview, Waters even went so far as to refer to Gilmour as nothing more than a good guitarist. Imagine becoming a key member of one of the best bands ever without any skill or effort. The dispute between Waters and Gilmour went far beyond music and got quite personal. Mason recalled that during the recording of The Wall, Waters started sidelining Gilmour in order to play portions that he might have easily performed himself. Gilmour engaged session musicians. Gilmour was truly insulted by this. He thought Waters was trying to take over the band completely, so they stopped talking outside of work. Mason asserted that the tension was palpable, even on stage during their Wall tour. Fans witnessed amazing performances despite the band's internal turmoil, but Gilmour was even worse pals with Richard Wright. Wright's keyboard prowess as a founding member contributed to some of Pink Floyd's most recognizable sounds. But during the production of The Wall, Waters insisted that Wright leave the band. The official justification: Waters said Wright was failing to generate enough original ideas. But Mason said that this was not entirely true. Wright and Waters had been at conflict for years, and Wright believed that Waters' authority was oppressive. Waters made the historic choice to allow Wright to continue as a salaried musician for the tour. despite the fact that he was no longer considered a complete member of Pink Floyd. This was one of Wright's most embarrassing moments. According to Mason, seeing a founding member treated like a hired hand was heartbreaking. Wright later stated that this was one of the most agonizing moments of his life. Why, therefore, did Waters behave this way? Mason asserted that the essential elements were control and perfectionism. Waters was adamant about sticking to his original plan for Pink Floyd. However, his desire for supremacy often pushed his bandmates to the limit. Mason described how Waters' young recording sessions often descended into disputes because he would not listen to other people's viewpoints. Getting the music just right and displaying dominance were the objectives. In the mid-1980s, the tension reached its zenith. Roger Waters thought Pink Floyd couldn't work without him, so he left the band. He felt that he was the vitality of the group. He was surprised, however, when the other members continued without him. Richard Wright, Nick Mason, and David Gilmour continued to perform and release records under the name Pink Floyd. Waters was in an angry bad mood. Since he believed the band was his creation, he didn't want Pink Floyd to use the name without his permission. Updates, say our legal battle was the outcome. When Waters tried to stop the other members from using the Pink Floyd name, he lost the case. This made him and the band even more antagonistic. Waters disregarded their post-Waters achievements for years, calling them shallow and uninspired. Fans are involved in this incident, so his anger wasn't just directed at his former bandmates. Nick Mason's recent comments indicate that the pain from those years still lingers. He described how the camaraderie that once defined Pink Floyd was replaced by a resentment and isolation. Mason said he wished things had gone differently, but he did recognize Waters' talent and contributions to the band. He wishes they might have remained together as a group rather than letting ego and control push them apart. Mason also thought about how Waters' personal life mirrored his problems at work. Mason claimed that the unsuccessful relationships were also influenced by Waters' need for control. Waters has 4 previous marriages. His music was driven by the same intensity that made him difficult to be around. What is the current state of affairs? Over the years, there have been brief reunions, but the tension still exists. Mason claimed that the scars haven't entirely healed, despite the fact that they had shared the stage a few times. With roots in both admiration and discontent, he referred to it as a complicated relationship. The legacy that Roger Waters left behind is confusing. He is a genius who penned some of the most significant songs in rock history. Despite the horrible price he paid for his demands for control and perfectionism, for Nick Mason, speaking up meant seeing the humanity in a rock star. Not just acknowledging the hurt. Waters' inventiveness is what made Pink Floyd what it is, but it also caused the band irreversible harm. So, what do you think? Did the band's chances of success rise or fall as a result of Waters' fixation on perfection? Kindly leave your thoughts in the space provided for comments below. Thank you for your time, and remember that all great bands have had their share of heartbreak and triumph. Stay tuned for more untold stories from the music industry.